on, guys? This is Michael Anthony Photography. Thank you for checking out my article in This Month's Shutter magazine. This month, guys, we're talking all about destination weddings. As you guys know, we photograph a lot of destination weddings per year. This year we did, I believe, 11 or 12 outside of the state of California. I love destination weddings. I have ever since I started in wedding photography. My dream was to actually be able to go out to a foreign country and shoot a wedding on location in a place that is just incredible and completely different than what our surroundings are here in LA. The first time that we did this, though, we got the opportunity to go shoot in Italy, in Lake Como. It was an incredible opportunity, something that I would have never expected would have happened to us, and it kind of just fell in our lap. That first time that we did this, we learned quite a bit on what to do and what not to do to be successful when you're shooting a destination wedding. The first thing to consider is that your costs of travel are going to be more than just your plane ticket, your airfare. When we first did this, we would just charge those two, or build those two, should I say, into our collections in order to justify our travel expenses. We wanted to keep the cost low to let our clients have an easier time booking with us. And while that was a good idea at first to get the weddings initially and get some portfolio work under our belt, we did incur a lot of expenses that we didn't typically anticipate up front. For instance, the rides to and from the airport, the check bag fees when you guys get to the hotels, all the tips, all the meals, which are going to be a little bit more expensive in places that you're typically traveling to. All of these things add up. But the largest cost that you don't anticipate is the cost of doing business when you're out of the studio. When you guys are not there to be able to answer emails on time, when you're not there to be able to fulfill orders, all of those things are costing you guys money, and you have to keep that in mind when you're planning for your destination weddings. A couple other things to consider, guys, when you're planning your travel to get to these countries, check on the permit requirements and the restrictions, right? A lot of places will require a work visa to get into the country and do your work. You have to check where you're going beforehand. Also, because you're not able to do a site visit at these locations before, you're going to definitely want to get on Google Earth and the photographer's ephemeris and try and plan out all of your shoot and all of your details beforehand. It'll make it a lot easier for you guys when you're out there with your clients, so that you're not having to improvise as much as you normally would if you weren't doing those things. Now, keep in mind, guys, that you will have to improvise when you get to these locations. I promise you, nothing will go according to plan, and you're going to need a backup plan in case plan A fails. Always, whenever we end up shooting a destination wedding, something goes not according to plan, and it requires us to pivot and do something completely new and different. A couple of other tips that I have for you guys when you're traveling, okay? Get a carry-on bag that's going to be able to fit all of your gear, but don't bring everything you own, okay? Plan ahead of time. Plan for only the things that you absolutely need, your absolute necessities. If you don't need a lens, you don't use it every single wedding, and you can get by without it, leave it behind, okay? If you guys are able to fit your camera gear into a smaller bag, do it. I promise you, in the long run, it'll make a lot more sense for you guys. You're not lugging gear around in a foreign country or a foreign state through airports, through security. There's a lot of things that you have to make sure that you're doing beforehand, so you avoid these pains when you're actually getting into the airport and doing all of this external travel. Lastly, guys, one thing that I definitely want to touch on, when you guys are planning these destination shoots, make sure you plan a creative session with your clients ahead of time. And the reason why I say that is because maybe your client's getting married at a beautiful beach in, say, Mexico, right? You guys may be limited to just shooting on the property of the hotel or the resort. When you guys get out of the property, there might be some amazing landmarks that would look incredible in your portfolio. For us in LA, if a client's getting married on a beach, sure, you have bluer water in the Caribbean, but a beach is a beach, right? So if I'm shooting a wedding in the Caribbean, or if I'm shooting a wedding in, say, Mexico, we're going to go to some of those landmarks so that when I put these images in our portfolio, they become conversation starters for clients who are browsing through our portfolio and seeing these amazing and incredible locations. Just understand, guys, that destination weddings will never be as profitable for you as shooting here at home. I say that just from experience because of all the additional costs that you're going to incur shooting a destination wedding. At some point, if you charge too much in terms of your fees, you're going to price yourself out of your clients' budgets. But at the same time, if you don't charge enough, then you're going to be losing money or leaving money on the table. So keep all those things in mind when you're planning out your shoot. Write down an entire cost sheet before you actually provide your client the quote. And for God's sakes, guys, please make sure you book your own travel. Okay, I can't stress this enough. If you don't book your own travel, the client will put you on a red eye to save $50, and you'll have a 9-hour layover too at the next airport. So when you guys are building in your quotes, make sure you look at the average prices for flights, average prices for hotels, and try and book everything yourself. Last tip that I got for you guys, if you guys are traveling a lot, there's an app that I use on my iPhone. It's called Hopper. It's a wonderful app. You guys can plan your trip. You could put in your dates that you want to travel. You could put in the airports you want to travel to, and Hopper will actually tell you when the best time to buy a ticket is. We've done this countless times over the last year, and it saved us a ton of money on flight prices. So those are all the tips that I have for you guys in destination weddings. Obviously, there's going to be questions here. Make sure you direct your questions to me at Mike at michaelanthonyphotography.com, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you next month in Shutter Magazine.